He was the first, yeah, and arguably the first when he understood that players, regardless of skin color, um, could help make up a football team. And you talk about how the Southeast Conference teams broke that color barrier. Coach Lombardi, at West Point, where he was coaching young men, of very diverse backgrounds. He gets to Green Bay and understands that people had asked Coach Lombardi early on. He's famous for this quote, about white players and blacks, and Coach Lombardi says, we only have green and gold players here.
I like that.
And people began to go, that makes sense, and Coach Lombardi coached all types of players, and we'll get even to some of the topics of integrating players not only of different color but of different sexual orientation. He had gay players on his team, two notable gay players in Washington. And I think one of the things, Matt, that I think is important to understand is Coach Lombardi's background. And some of the board members pulled Coach Lombardi aside. They said this. They said, we could those types of players later on in the draft that we didn't have to pay first round for. And before they could utter the last words, Coach Lombardi says, get off my field and don't ever come back here. I will draft who I want when I want. And if you're going to have that mentality and that thought, you don't deserve to be here. He was furious, and they never said a word who and when they drafted people.